Thank you for joining the Fresh Frequency podcast, where I will be your host, Caitlin, Katie. We are here on this journey of healing. We are learning, and most importantly, we are here breaking these negative mindsets. Today, I want to talk. That's it. Just kind of want to talk to you guys about grief. This is a topic that, I'm like, am I sure I want to talk about this, or because this is something that I'm actively living through. This is something that I'm still learning how to heal from and still learning how to accept. So I'm like, do I really want to talk about this yet, or should I hold off? And I just decided to talk about it. Right now, I am in my season of grief, if that makes sense. I'm in my season of anniversaries, of birthdays and death dates coming up of the ones that I lost and loved. And I cannot help but at this moment have these thoughts that run through my mind of my person. Like, I miss you. Like, my father, my brother, my lover. Like, I miss y'all, straight up. And I just remember years ago now, 9 years ago now, when I did get that call of such and such has passed away or they got killed. And I'm like, you lying, and I couldn't believe it. Just that non-believing part of it, the sudden rush of emotions that go through your body that make you feel like your world is ending, and like the anxiety, the way your heart sinks and your heart drops. And it's like, this is my new reality. Like, this is life. Like, I went to sleep to you tonight. I don't go to sleep to you tomorrow, or I spoke to you today and I can't speak to you tomorrow. Things happen so fast. And it's just like, how do we cope? I personally feel like grief, death, losing somebody is the number one reason of people losing their joy, of people losing their happiness. And it's so messed up because that's the only thing in life we can't avoid is death. Right? Right. So how do we deal with it? Like, how do we get through it? Like, how do we go on with life without feeling the guilt of us living our life while they can't live theirs no more? It's crazy, right? It's like we put ourselves through these mind battles. We it's so hard to get through it. And for me personally, I can't even accept the fact that the person's dead until I see him in their casket. Like, for me, it's the funeral that everything sets in. And it's like, fuck, this is my life. It is over. It is like, it's not over because I'm still living, but it's over. Like, our chapter is over. Our memories are over. Now I just have to think of you. Now I can't be with you. Now I can't go on vacation. Like, there's certain things that we planned and we can't do. And it's really hard to accept a new life when we have these bonds with people who are gone now forever. It puts us into questioning God. Like, if there is a God, why would he let this happen? Now you don't have faith. You lost your faith. You lost hope in God. You are in a depressive state of mind and you don't have no hope or no faith, because now we are questioning God. Because if he was real, he would not have allowed this to happen. We done prayed on our way to the hospital. We done prayed and we done did this and we hoped the person would make it and they didn't make it. So now God can't be real. That's not true. It's not true. There is an opposition in this world as well. There is good and evil in this world as well. And there's just some things we cannot avoid, sadly. Okay? So it's like a lot of PTSD. I feel like it's PTSD that could trigger from it. Like, when you get a call. Like, me personally, if I wake up to missed calls from my mom and my sister, I'm like, what happened? Like, when I wake up, like, what happened? Like, hold on. And nothing. It'd be nothing but the sudden rush of emotions that I feel when I get a call late at night. Like, something's not good on the other side of this call, and it don't really be nothing. We are in PTSD from grief. There is no proper grief etiquette on how to go on from life when someone dies. Like, what? You take off from work for a week or two and you got to go back to work, living your life, suppressing these feelings. We never have a moment to really just be pure, be honest, and be vulnerable 100% until we feel better, because there is no proper grief etiquette. We got to go back to living life. We got to go back to working, and the world don't stop for us. And that makes you angry, doesn't it? It makes you mad, right? It puts this chip on your shoulder, right? It puts a weight on your chest if you wish somebody would, because they don't even know what you're going through right now. Please. Grief is the main thing to me, in my perception, that takes the joy away from everybody. And sometimes you will never get it back. You don't know how to get it back. And it sucks with life and with death that, again, it's inevitable. You're going to lose somebody else, someone else that you love. You're going to lose them, or they're going to lose you. It's fucked up, right? I'm cussing this one. I'm sorry, y'all, because I gotta be authentic. I don't really want to cuss, y'all. I really don't want to, but I can't help it with this one because, I'm kind of just going for it. Very hesitant on this topic, but I'm going for it because it's important. It's really important for my healing journey, and I know it'll be important for people listening who are experiencing grief. And if you have not yet experienced grief, you are lucky. Continue to love the people that you have while you have them. Grief, one thing it taught me to be kind, to be truly nice, because that when you lose somebody, right, and it's like you think of your last interaction, and Lord, don't let that last interaction be bad, because you were about to whoop your own butt for God knows how long. You're not going to be nice to yourself. You're going to hate yourself. You're going to have all these guilty emotions come over your body off that, especially if the last interaction wasn't good. Yeah, God, Jesus, the conversations, right? It's important. One thing grief has taught me was to be kind, no matter how bad somebody really pissed me off, to really be nice to you, because this might be our last conversation. And that's life. So when we gear through life and we go through things, it's really like, this is a life thing that we all will go through one day. So how do we go from grieving a life of a loved one lost to celebrating a life of a loved one lost? Like, how can we shift these anniversaries that I'm going through, right? Like, how can I on these birthdays or these death dates not feel saddened? How can I not let the emotions that I felt that day consume my body again? It is about honoring the loss of the loved one, where we have to honor them. We have to do things for them and remember the life that they lived when they lived. And sometimes when we think about our people that passed, they might have not been happy in their last days. And they might have been miserable. And it's not a good way to remember somebody, but remember the good moments that you shared with them, no matter how bad that person was in their last days or how much they were probably even ready to go. Just think of your good memories. Do not hold on to the what ifs and the whys and the hows and if you were here and this could happen this way. We can't mentally. It's a mental thing. Mentally, we cannot do that to ourselves anymore. So, like last year, February 22, for the first time on my dad's death anniversary, I wrote him a letter. I tied it to some balloons and I went out to the mountains. I turned up a little bit that day, I ain't gonna lie, because, I'm trying to celebrate. But it was a way that I released that day. I didn't feel so sad. And I kind of was able to, like, when those balloons went into the air and, like, I seen the letter flying, it was like like, it felt good. It was a different feeling versus me sitting in bed, looking at pictures and looking at videos, crying all day. Because that's what we do to ourselves. We will literally put ourselves into these mental holes and we will not know how to get ourselves out of it, you guys. And grief is so hard to get through. I don't know if this hurt will ever really go away. Overall, the guilt of living your life, eventually stops. Like, when you feel guilty, like, damn, how can I smile? Like, man, when somebody died, don't you feel bad when you even smile? Like, I don't even deserve to smile right now because this person ain't living. It's like, So eventually that goes away. But the hurt when you think of that person, the hurt when you have a birthday, like, those are the death day and the birthday are the two defining days where if you were not thinking about that person for a while, like, those days it's gonna hit you. And when it hits you and you're by yourself, what are you gonna do to not put yourself back into depression? I personally just feel like honoring the life of the one that we lost is big. Keeping their name alive is even bigger. We cannot let them be forgotten, but they cannot be the reason why we hold on to sadness. And, like, I don't know what else to say, really. Like, because this is just something I'm going through. This is something that I'm living through. This is something that I felt. Like, to get calls, to have someone alive texting me, and a couple hours later they got killed. It's like, damn, if I would have told you to come see me, you might have still been alive. That is guilt that I have had to carry. That is guilt that I have had to let go. Because there's nothing that we could do to change the circumstances. There's nothing that we could do to change the situation. Sad to say, everything happens for a reason. I don't know what the reasoning is. I don't know. I really don't. But what I do know is everything does happen for a reason. And what I do know is that we all got to die one day. And that sounds tough to say like that, right? But it is what it is. It's the truth. I can't sugarcoat it. We have to live our lives through grief. And we have to understand how to maintain our happiness while we are, no, scratch that. We have to learn how to find our happiness again once we lost it. And it takes time. Time heals. My dad been dead for 5 years and I'm just now at the 5th year being able to celebrate instead of cry on his birthdays and death days. This is not easy. What I'm telling you guys is not easy what I'm saying, it might come off with like a smile, but deep down, this is real life. This is real life, and I'm just trying to give it to you with grace, give it to you where it could be easy with yourself, but it's not easy when you're actually going through it, and I know that. So in hindsight, these are just little things I want you guys to keep in mind when you are going through grief. Don't do the what ifs, the whys, the hows, and if you were here. We cannot mentally put ourselves into a hole. Eventually, we do have to accept this is our new reality, and we have to live for ourselves, and we cannot be the reason that we stay in like a deep, dark space. We cannot be mean to people. Love. We have to love. One thing death taught me is to love unconditionally, or love from a distance. Like whatever I do it with love. If I cannot personally be with you because like it just don't work out, like from a distance, I still got love for you. I'm gonna pray for you. I'm not gonna pray for your downfall. Never that, because I know if something was to happen to you, anybody, like I would be devastated if we had a connection. Even if we're not talking no more, like you have to be kind to people just in case that is your last time talking to them. You do not have to feel the guilt of that last conversation, of not being nice, of not telling them, I love you. I love you. Telling your friends, telling your family, telling people I love you is, you ain't gotta be in love with somebody. Like it ain't gotta be your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. Like I'm in love with you, but no, I love you. Truly. We just have to do a little something, man. And I just wanted to kind of talk about it, like to get it off my chest, because I was thinking about it. I'm in my grief season, like I said. I miss my brother, I miss my daddy, I miss my lovers. Like, we lost some people. I miss my auntie, like my daddy. Like it's real. We felt it. I felt the pain. I've been angry. I've been, waiting for somebody to try me so I could, but that ain't cute. Nobody want to be around nobody negative. You don't want to be with yourself. That's where it came down to. Like, I didn't even want to be with myself. There is something that had to change. It's a mindset thing first, y'all. Be easy with yourself. Love yourself. Because that's something before I end it. That's what I want to say. When we lose somebody, the pains that we feel are more so selfish, if that makes sense. We are hurt because we cannot experience them anymore. We are hurt because they are not living for us, for our experiences. It's really not more of like, okay, the person is us and the person. So we take it really, really personal. We take it so personal. We feel for people. Like we could feel for like their mom, feel for their kids, but the hurt that we feel, it feels for us. Like, damn, like I cannot experience this person no more. The ego, the personal, when everybody got to go through it. That ego, man, I'm telling you, it's going to make us lose our minds until we understand that everybody goes through it and this is life. And now we got to learn how to get through it with grace, get through it with being kind, and live life being kind. So when these instances happen and people do die, that we don't have to regret our interactions with them if they weren't nice, especially those last ones, or even overall. Like, the good outweigh the bad, but when we're being mean to ourselves, for some reason, all we do is think about the negative. Y'all, be nice to yourself, love yourself, honor your loved one, do something to honor them, celebrate their life instead of grieving it. They are not here, but we keep their name alive. We keep their name alive. We are living for a reason. We are still here for a reason. Don't die with your loved ones. When they get buried, don't bury yourself with them. Live. We have to live for them, honor them. That's it. That's all I wanted to talk about, man. Just to get it off my chest, just to do a video, try to stay on track. But it's real, y'all. And I'm going to come back to this conversation. Grief is something that's never ending. So it's something that I'm still actively learning through. This conversation ain't over, but I'm gonna have to have somebody else here with this one, because I can't, it's hard to talk about by yourself. I'm not gonna lie. Y'all, thank you for tuning in to the Fresh Frequency Podcast, where we are here, we are healing, we are learning, we are holding each other accountable to remain at our highest selves, no matter how hard it is, no matter how difficult your days may be. Honor your emotions, but don't let them consume you. Honor your emotions, but don't let them take over you for the rest of your life. Be happy. It's a choice. We have choices. We could be happy or we could be sad. It is a choice. Choose whatever honors you and makes you feel better. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Until next time. Bye-bye.